Theo Squires is a very busy man, senior writer for the Liverpool ECHO. Theo, thanks for joining us. A season for the ages for the Reds, albeit one that potentially could end up with just two domestic cups. What is the sentiment in the red half of Liverpool for this Saturday?
Yeah, it's been an incredible season, but at the same time, if they don't win the Champions League final, it's almost underwhelming the fact that you can finish with two domestic cups and it feels like you've not achieved more. It's yet another year where they've got over 90 points in the Premier League and it's not been enough to win the title. But at the same time, you've got to appreciate this is a very special, talented Liverpool squad. This year, they've had all the key players back from injury. In the second half of the season, they managed to get through it pretty much injury-free for the majority. They signed Luis Diaz, and they've just gone from strength to strength. They've only lost, I think, 3 times all season. It has been incredible from them. They're just up against a really good Manchester City side who know what it takes to win the Premier League. But when you compare it to when Liverpool were in the Champions League final in 2018, 2019, they hadn't won anything at that point. It was just getting to that point of winning the first trophy and then building on it. Whereas now, Liverpool have missed out on the title. They can lose the Champions League final, and you could still say they're going to be at least second next season. They're going to be quarterfinals, semi-finalists of the Champions League at least next season. They are one of the best teams in the world. So while there was a bit of disappointment having had the title dangled in front of Liverpool fans at Anfield on Sunday when Villa were winning 2-0 and to have it cruelly snatched away, there's still positivity there because whatever happens this year, they're going to be there next year. They've got such a strong squad, strong manager. It's all coming together nicely for them. You just hope they can finish this year with a treble, but double, it's not really the end of the world, is it? It's still quite nice to add those to the collection.
You're right, but I mean, it is a tough season to quantify, right? 92 points. So regardless of the result, do you think this team is now being considered shoulder to shoulder with the truly great Reds teams of years and generations past?
It depends how you judge them. Like if you do it purely for points totals, they've got to be. Like they don't lose games. The fact that it is only 2-3 defeats this year, and they've been going toe to toe against Man City for so long. The only reason they've not won more is because they've been going up against this Man City side, whereas Liverpool of the 70s and 80s, they were dominating it, but they weren't picking up the same totals of points. Now, this team, Jurgen Klopp's the first Liverpool manager ever to win every one of the 4 major trophies going. That shows the success they're building. Now they've got 1 of everything. They need to make it 2 of everything and 3 of everything. I think after last year when they had the injuries, there was that feeling, maybe this team's peaked already. You're seeing players leave, players get injured, players get older. It could already be over before it's really begun. But they've shown that they can just bring in new players and they can carry on. These are just the first steps. Like Luis Diaz, looks like he's going to be one of their best players for the next number of years. Even if Mohamed Salah goes in 2023, it's about the club being back at this top stage of European football. And they're showing that. Like the Liverpool team of the 70s and 80s is just full of legendary names who won everything. You just can't really enjoy it as much in the moment. It's only when we look back and say, wow, that was a really special team. But Van Dijk's, the Salahs, the Fabinhos, they're going to be in that bracket when they retire. Hopefully they'll add a few more medals to the collection before then. But yeah, they have just been breaking records galore. They just need a few more trophies in the bag.
That's right. It's just difficult given that they're in this era of Man City and their spending power and how that looks. And then moving forward, a PSG perhaps on the European side of things. Chelsea's going nowhere, it seems, as well. So it's a tough generation, but they do need more trophies. When you look at that rivalry with Man City, there's such mutual respect, it seems. It's good to watch, but is it lacking a bit of hate? Because you look back in the old days and even earlier in this century with Chelsea and United and Arsenal, there was that edge to those contests. Is it lacking a little bit?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's lacking that spikiness. There isn't anyone there you really hate. Like you can try and make something out of it. Like if Guardiola says everyone supports Liverpool, or the media pounce on things, fans pounce on things, but it's not the same. Like Man City, no matter what they've achieved in the past decade, they're still the secondary side in Manchester. They are the most significant of insignificances because they've not achieved enough yet to be this elite club. It's like new money, isn't it? You don't respect them in the same way you would as if it was Manchester United in their situation. Like if Liverpool and Manchester United were going for all these honours, there'd be a real hatred there. There'd be wars of words. The players would be just at each other all the time. But there's this mutual respect because it's Klopp and it's Guardiola. You're just waiting for that bit of nastiness. But I don't think it's going to come because they don't want to create these headlines. Like Klopp is always playing it down. I think the press conference before the Man City game at the Etihad this season was the most boring one he's ever done because he just didn't want to make any headlines. It's a very clever way of doing it for him, just focusing on getting the job done on the pitch. And it's complete contrast to what we saw from, say, Wenger and Ferguson or Mourinho. We're seeing all these breakdowns in the past, like Kevin Keegan or Rafa's Benitez's facts rant. We like this bit of drama, don't we? We want there to be a bit more spice to it. Instead, it's just boring that we've got the two best teams ever playing football. You want that little bit more to it. But it is still entertainment. Maybe if Manchester City win a Champions League or it is a few more years of them going for all these titles, there will be that added spikiness to it. But at the moment, it is just respect. It would be completely different if it was Liverpool versus Chelsea or Liverpool versus Manchester United. It's just the way it is.
Of course, there was some spice against Real Madrid last time out with the whole Salah Ramos incident. Ramos is now left, so he's not there. But there's a bit of edge there. I think injuries and health aside, do you think Diaz starts against Real Madrid? He's been a fantastic story since coming over in January, and it seems that their best front three involves him these days.
Yeah, the front three, it's strange. For so long you'd say it's Salah, Mane and Firmino. They've been this undroppable trio that linked up so well, scored so many goals, and it was just, you couldn't think of Liverpool without them. Then Firmino gets a few injuries, Jota comes in and Jota's scoring goals. He had a magnificent start to the season. I think this is the start of the succession. But then they signed Diaz and he's in a different league completely. Like, he looks perfect for Liverpool. The fact that he doesn't speak the language yet, he's come to England, which we know, northwest of England, it's not exactly the warmest climate, and this is a South American lad who's playing for Porto. It's a difficult ask for him. Yeah, he's come in and he's set the world alight. Like we've been saying on the way back from games and stuff, how long until we're saying Luis Diaz is Liverpool's best player? Like, if he could put in a 20-goal season next season, you're saying he's one of the very best players in the Premier League because he's just so exciting to watch. And he is, you can't not see him in the Liverpool front three at the moment. Like, the only way you take him out is because you want to rest him to put someone else in. He's definitely established himself at the top of that pecking order. It's allowed Sadio Mane to reinvent himself as this number 9, and he's done a brilliant job. Got this key goal at the weekend, or would have been a key goal at the weekend against Wolves if the title race had ended a little differently. And then with Mo Salah, you just can't drop him. Like, you saw the look on his face at the moment he scored at the weekend when he thought that was going to be his Aguero moment. And then we saw his face afterwards when he was getting the Golden Boot and the Playmaker Award when the title wasn't there. They were the prizes he wanted, but it wasn't the big prize he wanted. Now he's got this focus on Real Madrid in the Champions League final. He'll want revenge. He's come out and said he wants revenge. He wants to get this trophy and to stake his claim for it. Having limped off in the FA Cup final, there's that added desire for him to start there as well and end the season on form. You can also throw the Ballon d'Or in there. Like, for 2/3 of the season, Salah looked like the clear favourite for it. Mm-hmm. And then his goal scoring form dropped off a bit with the contract uncertainty, the international heartache, just fatigue in general. And Benzema started scoring every single week. But if Salah puts in a good performance in the Champions League final, you never know. That might tip it in his favour. He's been a great player for Liverpool, one of the best fans have ever seen, scored so many goals, and he's got the assist this year. Hasn't quite gone for him in the second half of the season, but when you've got the likes of Salah, Diaz, Jota, Firmino in reserve, they've been able to get by. But we're at the stage of the season now where you need your big players to step up. Salah starts, and hopefully you can get one over on Real Madrid. But then I can also throw in the fact that Mbappe has just signed his new 3-year contract with PSG. Real Madrid are going to have to look elsewhere. Could it also be an audition for Mohamed Salah? Liverpool fans will hope not, but you don't know what Real Madrid are going to do. They're always going to be up to their naughty tricks of transfer targets. It might be something we'll hear in the next couple of days that they're suddenly interested just to unsettle him.
Yeah, it's a good point. I did wonder when they lost out on Haaland and then Mbappe, I thought, well, where's that money going now? And it could make the dominoes quite interesting, I think, this summer. To the match, though, this Saturday, Liverpool's the favourites. They're probably the better team on paper. But there is that destiny feel to this Real Madrid team, given what they've done so far to get this far. What are your thoughts going into that match?
It's very easy to sit on the fence, but it's going to go one of two ways. It's either Real Madrid's luck runs out, or they've been so lucky this year that their name is on the trophy. It's just which way is it going to go? We've seen before when you think, oh, it's not a great Real Madrid team, the players are past their best, but they've just got that experience and know-how to get through these games. They've seen off so many big names in Europe this season. Their squad is littered with players who have won European Cups after European Cups. You could tie it into Liverpool's favour by saying, well, their big moments have come at the Bernabeu, and obviously they're going to be delighted to be back at the Bernabeu. They weren't playing there last year, and they didn't have fans for 18 months as well. That's a reason why they could turn on these performances at night. But you can never write off Real Madrid. That's why they're one of these super teams in Europe. It doesn't matter whether they've got their team of Galacticos or you're thinking this is a pretty rubbish Real Madrid team. They still find a way to win the trophies, to get to the Champions League finals. They've won the Liga at a canter pretty much this year because there wasn't any competition with Barcelona falling apart. They've been able to prepare for this game differently to Liverpool. Liverpool have been going right down to the wire in the title race while competing for everything else. And they have looked a little bit tired, truth be told, in the last few games as a result, which is understandable. But they could have one big game left in the legs. They need a big game left in the legs. And Champions League final doesn't come much bigger. You'd like to say Real Madrid's luck's run out, that they've used it all up to get past Man City, Chelsea, PSG, and that Liverpool can get their revenge, show how far they've come in these past 4 or 5 years, and make sure it's not a repeat of 2018. But in the back of your head, you've always got, you can't write off Real Madrid. Liverpool were good enough to win. They've shown that time and time again, but they need to make it count on the big stage. We'll see on Saturday.
Yeah, well, it's been a great season. No matter who you support, I think it's been open. It's been record-setting, and a great way to finish it is against Real Madrid, Liverpool, in a real. It feels like a proper big match European final, and that's of course exactly what it is. Theo, thank you so much. I know you're heading over there later this week. Enjoy the match.
Thank you. Hopefully, it's a good one.
Let's hope so. That's Theo Squires from the Liverpool ECHO.